like. How do I switch
Hey,
They're
can you
probably
hear
gonna
me?
call me appraisal soon
No.
on that well.
Probably
And
not going to hear me since I don't have my headphone plugged in.
uh,
Hey, can you hear me now?
yeah.
It's like not plugged in. I'm like, why is this not working? Simple answer.
How did you switch on Bright? So we're probably gonna have the appraisal. I just printed 5 comps off for the well and septic house.
Yeah.
How do you switch on? I mean, they all still show actually almost identical to the square foot that we are, like that it's listed now. Would you still go in and switch it to like just over 3,000 or something?
I would do that as soon as you go under contract though, because you
We're under
always take
contract. Yeah, we're out of
But-
attorney review. We did the home inspection.
cool. Yeah, so you want to do it as soon as you're like fully under contract, and then but before the appraiser would actually ever take a look at it. Sometimes they look at it a couple days before they do the appraisal, so don't make sure you don't change it after they look. With that being said, you just go into your
I
Bright
do it now?
MLS.
Can I
Yeah, you
screen
can
share real quick?
Yeah, screen share, and I'll show you how to do it.
You gotta disable my screen sharing.
I'll let you in. See, security guard got you.
Zoom's blocking all this stuff out.
Yep, that's because you got put on the hot list. Throwing penises on people's page.
Yeah, right.
They knew that's what they knew you were up to.
All right.
Good thing they stopped you.
Yeah, exactly. Real troublemaker right here.
Exactly. If it wasn't for them, they saved you.
All right, so yeah. So here's so I gotta go up to my listings.
Yeah, my listings. Edit. In fact, now go back. Now go to where it says edit and list. Edit. Add and edit.
And there's no way for them to pick up on this stuff.
Yeah,
Do you change it back after the appraisal's done, or you leave it?
Well, I've left it, but you can change it back. Now hit edit. And now go down to where it says, let me see if I can remember correctly. Not showings, remarks, building and utilities. Go to building. See right there, a little side. Click that and see. Yep, there you go. Structure type. Oh, measurement. See, it says measurements. Right under the building and utilities. You want to click the thing. It'll take you to it because it's a lot of scrolling otherwise. All right, so cool. Now it says below grade 1100, above grade 2720. What are some of the other bigger property sizes?
I actually, all the comps, I literally just printed them. They're actually not, ironically. They're all 2744, 2752, 2769, and ours. So they're all like identical to ours.
So none of them are bigger?
No, there's a few that I could pull that are a little bit bigger, like the low threes.
Well, tell me what those comps, what are those nets?
They're all actually higher than ours. So 375 is the highest. And these all closed within like the last 60
Any
days.
of them have well and septic?
They did not.
So that's a problem. So put yourself at like 3,040.
Okay.
Just do something like that because you got to have something to make yourself better than them. I mean, you're not selling for quite the comp, and now you're more square footage.
You're actually lower. So of all these comps that I just pulled, we're actually the lowest sale at 360.
Sure, but now you're a bigger house and you're a lower sale. That should make up for the well and septic.
Okay.
Pretty
Do
easily.
they really like frown upon them that much? Like, if you ever talk to an appraiser, what's the census?
Well, they like to only use well and septic comps, is what I've heard. But
Okay.
I don't think they'll find enough well and septic comps to be able to go that route. So they'll have to go.
Well, that's why there's not. That's not the unfortunate. Hopefully, it's the fortunate part. But there's literally nothing well in septic.
Sure. So they won't be able to use those, and so then they'll have to use these. But then they're going to have, if they use something that different, they will have to make whatever they think a deduction is. So at least now, maybe we can make this feel like it's a 400K house that sold for 360, which makes up for well and septic. So
I have
that's
to
pretty
save
much
this
it.
or something.
Yeah, it saves itself, but you go up to the top and just hit publish. There you go.
And then does this send them like a notification that the listing's been changed or anything?
No, who would have sent that to? You maybe, but no one else. It sends a note. It's like, hi, Ray and Hannah have just tried to forge the They have a discrepancy in their square footage. Please investigate and report back to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
If we did that, we'd all be in trouble. Like, holy shit. What
All right.
happened?
Yeah, like I just ran the comps. I went out 2 miles because all of the lots are bigger,
Yeah.
and that's where I pulled these from. But when I went out, like if you look, there's literally
I don't know they're going to go 2 miles though. So I would try to, if you're going to give them comps, then I would start. Can you get any? You only need 3 comps. And if you can get 3 comps within a mile, similar square footage, that's going to be better because you don't want them like discrediting your comps because maybe you got 4 comps, but one of them's like 2 miles away. They'll discredit them. 180 is fine. I think if you can try it 1 year and just see what you come up with.
okay.
Well, nothing much, huh?
Unfortunately, that's why I went out 2 miles. Like
All right,
if
we'll
I
go
go
2 miles then. Yeah, it doesn't do it for you, huh?
if I go 1 mile, I get 7 comps back 180 days. And these all 5 of these
You got
houses are
like,
they're all
yeah.
brand new construction.
Yeah, okay. Go 2 miles then. The thing you also have though is that big lot. So yeah, I would give them the comps. It's going to be the best you can do.
So that gives me 15. You know what? I checked. I did this back.
I don't know if they'll go 2 miles out, man. That might be something they're not willing to do, but I could go for it and
They're
try.
honestly not like the ones that are here, like 1.2. They're just over a mile. 1.1.
Then type it in. Go as little as you can. You can type in 1.2 or 1.5, 1.4 and see what happens.
Just leave it at 180, or would you go back a little bit further?
Well, before you go 2 miles out, what I would likely do is actually go a mile out and then go back a hair farther just to see if you can find any comps close. Because they don't generally go, I think they'll go farther back before they go farther out, but usually a mile is actually pretty far.
I know in the 412 house we just got, he actually went out 1.3 because that's where he found the one that was in comp condition.
They gave you the comps?
Yeah, he gave us the 412 based on that one that was 1.3 miles away. It sold
Yeah.
for 399 with unfinished basement.
Okay. So,
So
let's
I
see it
mean,
that way and see. So they do it then. If they have to, I guess. Your houses are specific enough that it's still, oh, there's, you got to go high to low. Okay. I was like, what's going on? All right, there's plenty of comps now.
so this is 1.5 miles out, but these aren't comps, obviously.
They're not comps. Well, that
So
comp, it's a comp.
this is the nearest active to me, but it's been on the market for a half a year.
Yeah, that's an active. So let's move on that one. Let's not worry about that one.
So these square
then-
footages are all too
There
big.
you go. Oh, they're 27 right there, though.
That's active still.
Oh, shit, active. Okay. It's interesting
So
how your house is, how your house. What about that one that's 2,400? It sold for 370.
that's new
Oh, brand new. Shit.
construction, I think. Let's see, year built. I think that's new construction though.
How about that one? That one's 94, 360.
Coming soon.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, just use the comps you got. I mean, look, if the comps are this complicated, then it's going to make, it's definitely going to make them have to second guess. So
Okay.
just give them the ones you have, I guess. That's the best you can do.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll take them. I mean, like you said, they seem like they're.
Yeah, so what I went a mile out. So if I'm not going to go the full 2, but I'll show you the comps that I used just for your thoughts quickly.
Okay.
So I used first one I used was this was the first one. This is 1.6 and it's 4, 2.5, 2,700. Sold in 8 days for 375.
Perfect.
I'm hoping that they have basically this is the neighborhood where we just sold the 360 house in like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the closest similar.
Yeah. Well, I think here's what I would point out, right? I wouldn't point out the fact you have well and septic, but I would point out that these are 0.4 lots. And what are you, like 2 acres or something?
.90. Yeah.
Oh, so you're not that much bigger then. Just maybe pointed out
Well,
though.
no, a lot of the rest of these, like this is .19.
Yeah, I would just put then you're almost the full acre, right? I would make sure you mention the fact that you're almost a full acre.
Okay.
Yeah, just to try to help.
Okay. Hey, did you get my would you just call this siding guy? He didn't even show up again today. Would you?
Yeah, I'll call him. You want me to call him? Be like, what the fuck is going on, man? This is Ray's investor from Baltimore. Shit's
No,
getting
do
out
you
of
try
hand.
and do it in person, or does it honestly matter, or you don't really care at this point? You just want to get it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we just need to move on if he didn't even show up. Just yeah, I would call and have a conversation with him. Just call
Okay.
him tomorrow. If he don't show up tomorrow, just be like, hey, or just call him tonight and be like, hey, man, look, man. I mean, call while I listen, so we can listen, and then I'll give you some feedback. I'll take some notes.
Okay. Let me
Because really
take a
now
look.
it's just about saying, hey, man, look, what are we doing? You didn't show up today. Got to get this done. My investor's all over me. Man, he's getting ready to pull the job from you. I don't want him to do that, but you got any idea when you can finish? And if you can't
Okay.
get it soon, man, or even ask. Sometimes you can be like, Ray, man, did you take off? Did you bite off more than you can chew? It's cool, man. I can get someone to finish this up. I got crew waiting.
Okay.
And right now, and I'd like to work this out with you, but right now I'm in a place where it might get taken from me out of my hands.
Okay.
Somebody else does it. So,
I'll try and call him right now. He said he was there yesterday, but we got caught in storm, so he wrapped up around 2. And he today was basically just excuses when he texted me back.
more shit every day, huh? Dude, we had
So
some storms hit here. My whole oasis is looking beautiful now. There's tree limbs everywhere and leaves, and
everything came coming down.
it's crazy yesterday, man. Like big trees everywhere.
Yeah, I'll try and call him real quick.
Yeah, just mute us in case I say anything. Or I can mute myself.
Have reached the voicemail box of 096746777. Hang up or press pound for more
Don't bother
options.
leaving them a message.
Hey, Josh, it's Ray. If you can give me a call when you get this message tonight, just want to circle back to that siding job and figure out a timeline to get that stuff wrapped up. Thanks. All right.
So just send them a text. Say, hey, man, we need to talk. It's important. Time sensitive.
Okay.
That's it. Just, see if he calls you back. Now, have you paid him already anything or
0.
0? It's weird.
He's not the most motivated. He's not asking for money. He's not. It's just kind of like all around. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I know it is weird. Usually they're trying to get money at this point. You know what I mean? They probably see like shit's falling apart and they're trying to get some cash out of there before it all falls apart. But whatever. Well, you're kind of in the driver's seat then. Say, look, man, I need to get somebody to finish it up and pay you the difference. Do you say his name was Ray?
Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah.
Or J Bone.
Yeah. He's actually like this, like low energy, like just like kind of like real like chilled, like relaxed. But
Yeah.
I don't, that might be his downfall.
So I mean, nobody's that chill. They'll never show up. Come on, yo, I'll be there. I'll be there 1 week. Come on, man. He's got to make more than $1,800 for a month to live in New
This
Jersey.
is his third week. This is
I
literally
know.
his third week.
He's like $1,800 a month on this job. I mean, that's insane. So, yeah, man, just send them. Just start escalating at this point quickly.
Okay.
So, I mean, the faster. Look, if you see he's just not going to come do anything, not going to get anywhere, just fire him sooner than later and get a price from your guy and see what he'll tell you. Get him backed up to what he'll charge you.
I asked the Spanish guys today. I met them for paying for the drywall, and he said he would have 2 guys, or it will be done in a day. Like
2 guys for a day.
Yeah, he said it probably won't even be a day, in all honesty.
So then, what did he want to charge you to finish it?
I didn't. I just told him to look at it and measure it. I said the other guy might finish it, but I said if not, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Cool. Find out what it'll cost to finish it, because if they'll finish it pretty cheap, you might be on a spot where you can go ahead and, get them to finish it for like 500 to $800 or something.
And still
And then
give
just
him
still pay,
some.
still give him pretty solid amount of money. He's done about half the work. So I don't know, maybe
Okay.
he's not quite more than half. So if you can get it done, look, he's going to get something. You give him 1,000 out of 1,800. He should be happy
Okay.
at this point, but he's not finishing the work. He's well beyond anything you guys talked about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just get a price from them, and then call and have the conversation, and just be like, hey, man, I'm gonna have to give it to someone else, because especially if he didn't come. He's really already kind of like screwed you over for like 2 weeks now. So 3 weeks into any job that isn't a 3-week job is insane. And I don't think you're wrong at any point to get rid of someone.
Okay.
Let's see. So Christine, can you hear me? Or Micah? I'm sure it's right, Christine, actually. You guys usually have your own one.
Hi.
Hey.
I was just putting my children in their place, so I apologize.
Yeah, you're beating them.
No, I don't do that. I just have to
Oh.
like a look, and they know.
Oh, look, and then act like you're, and then unbuckle your belt like it's gonna happen.
You're crazy, and I actually feel I'm more effective when I talk like really low and give them.
Yeah. Focus in.
Because like, if I go crazy, they just laugh at me. So like, I've never respected.
Yeah.
I'm listening to her.
I used to sort of take my belt off, and then now they're just like, yeah, right. It's like, you ain't doing it.
Like, oh, okay.
The only problem with that is you can't bluff. They
Yeah.
catch on quick.
Well, and see, I'm not a huge spanker. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes they get a pat in the butt, but generally
Yeah.
I can talk to them. But they also are good boys. So I don't like
Yeah.
how they're problematic. They're good boys as of right now.
That's always good.
Yeah.
So what are you working on today? I feel like you guys were, I was in some kind of group text briefly. I only had like a few minutes between calls.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I actually finished module 3 today.
Oh, good.
And it was a lot of really good information. And I feel like that you're right. It's just going to take time for me getting used to being in the MLS and getting up early, looking for this on it before 9.
Mhm.
And then Micah said today about open floor plan 12 by 30.
That's a great room.
Mhm.
So that's like a minimum size for a great room. So that's like living room, dining room, kitchen.
Okay.
So if you remember, I think yours at Martin was like 12 by 28 or something. And it was super tight, like you were squeezing the dining room in. But around 12 by 30, you actually have like 12 by 10 for that, 12 by 8. That's 18. You get about 12 by 12 for the kitchen. And that's a pretty solid living room, dining room, kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's just your great room. That's when you're first walking in, that's like the main thing you want to try to accomplish. So
Right.
once you accomplish that, then the second thing you start to ask yourself is, can I get a master suite in here somewhere? So, if it's a dormer, you can put a dormer off of Cape Cod, or if you got like 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms above grade, you could potentially take 3 bedrooms and take 2 of them, make 1 big master, and then you have a 2-2 upstairs. And then if you can get one on the first floor, then you got 3 above grade, and then you can do 1 in the basement. So that's how we quickly can get to like 4-3 or 4-4. 4-3 usually is good.
I mean, we looked at the one, I think you were on the test with, on Maryland Avenue. And
Maryland's tricky. I still haven't figured out what to do with it. I've seen it twice and I can't figure out what to do with it. But I'm sure there's something. That weird addition in the back doesn't really offer the opportunity to put a master, but there's somewhere we can put a master. I just don't know where.
I feel like so when you first walk in,
Mhm.
stairs, and I would round out the stairs and then leave the 2 rooms upstairs, but then downstairs lose one of the bedrooms, add a master suite downstairs.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I was thinking, by the way. So you have 2 bedrooms upstairs now?
There, put in another bathroom there, and then combining those 2 rooms,
Yeah.
walk-in closet, and then taking away some walls. You might have a column, but you could kind of work that into the island, as I was kind of feeling in the kitchen.
That's a good guess. I would say that's probably right around where you want to be. The kitchen and the dining room and all that look pretty big and look pretty solid. And then I think that's in the ballpark of what I was thinking. So how much money were you thinking on the renovation?
And we were thinking 80,000 because there's no HVAC.
No. Okay, that's too high. So let's go to what I was thinking. So let me go to my Trello. Let me share my screen so you guys can see how I'm tracking my stuff too.
Mhm.
A spreadsheet is more effective than what I'm doing. I'm just trying to break a habit and try my productivity coach is like, this would be better, but I don't know. I kind of like spreadsheets, so either one's good.
That's fine.
But this is kind of a board I'm working on, so I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing.
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure it's on this board, but probably not because I'm in between. Oh, here we go. So I only have 60K in work, 250 offer, 121 is my offer. 250 ARV. Where was your ARV coming in at?
There's 250. That's what I was doing because I
Oh,
remember.
yeah, good.
Yeah, because I was trying to get really honed on like running the comps,
Mhm.
looking at these on the market,
Yeah.
square footage.
If you can get a master in there and everything, Essex, Quiet Street, I don't think 250 is a problem.
Yeah, it was like down towards the end, and I
Yeah.
looked at a nice backyard.
Mhm.
And it
It
had
does. What are you going to do with that thing in the back, though? That, whole like family room / whatever it is, like addition in the back.
well because like there's the illegal bathroom. If you kept going in the back, there was like that toilet and sink kind of next to it underneath the box.
I don't know where that was. You're saying that was in the
Like,
back?
all the way, it was all the way back, and I think the water problem is from the gutters because like
In the basement?
yeah.
Yeah, we don't worry about water problems too much. That costs like $3,500 to fix if you need to
Okay.
waterproof it. So whatever the water problem is, we just waterproof it. It's $3,500. So it could be like 60. I put like 60K in work because most of the house is actually in pretty good shape. Like the sheetrock savable. You're not doing an addition. You're literally only walls you're moving right now are going to be in between the kitchen and living room, and then kind of working out that master suite / bathroom situation. So that's not overly complex. And then if you were to do it that way, you'd have 2 upstairs, 1 on the first floor. You'd have 1 back in the back you could create.
Mhm.
If you want to have a bedroom back there, that would be fine. You'd have 4 bedrooms, 2 baths above grade. I think the basement was finishable or not.
I don't know. I don't think it was tall enough.
Yeah, and maybe it's a luxury unfinished, and that's going to make it a little more difficult to get 250. But
Right.
because Martin had no basement. Oh, Martin had a basement, right? Yeah, yeah.
It had the
You did the luxury unfinished, though, right? You just kind of cleaned it out. Okay, so you do the same thing at this place.
I mean, because it's like it's a decent size. Like
Yeah. You do a luxury unfinished in a room, keep it cheap, a little bit of paint, carpet, and a couple plugs on the concrete, and paint it, make it look like you actually finished it, but just forgot to actually do all the work.
right.
You're on a budget.
Mhm.
Design on a dime came through and knocked that basement out for you. So I think the thing is, though, 80K is a lot for a Cape Cod. I mean, you only spent, here's the best way to look
We were
at it.
thinking of putting a dormer on the back. That's why we were at 80 because my
Oh,
thinking we would have to make the ceilings upstairs taller
why?
because of the height.
No, they were way high, though. I mean, they weren't short by any means. They're just kids' rooms, so I mean, they're 7 foot tall.
That's what I was thinking.
They're 7, 8 foot tall. The only time they need to be taller is if they're under 6, 7 foot tall, under 7 foot. They were like 7.5 feet tall in the center, 8 foot in the center. So yeah, those are fine. I wouldn't dormer that.
Okay.
Not if if you were putting a master up there. If you dormer that, then I'd put a master up there and leave the first floor the way it is.
Right, but
That would
see,
be-
it would be better to have that. I personally like the master on the first floor rather than the second floor and have the 2.
Sure, but at the end of the day, what's easiest to do? And just think of it like that. And then most people don't actually even have kids when they buy these houses.
Right.
Because I don't know. But if they do, they don't care. They're just so happy to have it. So if you are going to put a dormer, then it would be dormer it up to make a master suite. That would be awesome. And then do almost no work on the first floor. So you're going to save a lot of money because the first floor could stay just the same. Think of the issue you have if you do 2 bedrooms upstairs. They got to actually come down to a first floor and go to a bathroom downstairs. So they won't actually have a bathroom on the second floor. So probably what makes more sense is, excuse me?
We could probably, I mean, this would probably, I don't know, it probably wouldn't make much sense to do a half bath in that little cove area at the top.
Yeah, you could do a small dormer and put a bath, like a small, just enough for a bathroom, a very small dormer, and that would cost a couple grand. And then maybe just put a full bath up for the 2 bathrooms. But what I probably think makes the most sense is either do a small dormer for a couple K, and then honestly, I think you get 250. Think about Martin and compare it to Martin. I
Right.
think that area of Essex is better than where Martin is, first of all. That area of Essex is pretty desirable. So I don't know why, because it just is. You gotta ask Tanya. She's like the
That's
expert.
okay. And it was like, you could just tell that the neighborhood, like the cosmetic.
Yeah, they're very nice houses there. They're a little bit nicer. Martin is close. Martin is close to like Maryland Avenue, and it's like a little bit hokey out on there. Some stuff going around, but in general, those go for a little bit more. But 250 should be solid. But I think you could keep it simple and either do. If you're going to do a dormer, I would be looking more like, well, keep in mind that the renovation itself beyond the dormer piece If you were keeping the bathroom just like it is, you're not adding a bathroom, you're no more than 50K on the whole renovation. But as soon as you say I got to add a bathroom, that's like 55K. And as soon as you need to add a dormer, it's like 65K. But that's it. You're roughly going to just be in that ballpark, right? 65K. Not 80K is a lot. I mean, it'd be like you're saving nothing. But I remember you could save the windows, the siding looked good,
Yeah,
the roof
but
actually looked good from what I remember.
Mhm.
You know, in the sheetrock in the house looked good, and the electric and plumbing and all that didn't need to be gutted. It would need some updates depending on what you do, but it didn't need to be gutted. It all was like reasonable. So if you're not rewiring the house, you're not doing all new everything, you can get it done pretty affordably for a house like that. I wouldn't worry too much about how you go about it. I probably would run it at 65 and work now that I've thought through it a little more with you. But it still men's like I think we've already put an offer in at 121. They were like F you because they're at like 150 and if they were willing to go 121. They're probably getting a little more action. But
Mhm.
they've been sitting out at 150 like it's the end of the world and they won't sell for a penny less. So
Right.
maybe Micah could get a hold of them and just see like are they willing to negotiate at all?
Right.
And then we can get more solid on the numbers if they are.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good. So I'm just gonna keep. Well, I guess I should ask you. Like, should I just keep going through all the modules to learn as much as I can, or should I take a break and kind of hone in on that module and kind of?
Yeah, basically take a break and go back and do some of this in real life and then go back to module 3 again and just focus right now. If you only learn one thing in the next 30 to 60 days, and that's how to go into MLS and how to comp and how to run budgets and keep, you know, layouts and see what you're looking at. You only learned that over the next year, it would be the most awesome skill you can learn. I mean, Alex learned it over like 6 million flips and Ray's learned it over a lot of flips. You generally don't learn this stuff until you've just done a lot of it, right? In practice. And so the reality of it is, if there was one skill that I know Ray has and Alec has, and this is the reason they've been doing this a while, is they both know how to look at a deal, analyze it, and say, okay, this is a good deal. For the
Yeah.
most part, they know where they need to be, and they're able to kind of close the door on deals when they see them. So that skill is something that Micah doesn't have right now. I mean, he doesn't have that 100%. So if you could sharpen that up, you could be a really big power piece in the whole plan. Because it's something that if you can like look at deals and analyze them at a high level, it's just a great gift to have. Very
Yeah.
powerful.
I think you're right. It's just going to take me focusing on that every morning and
Yeah.
just getting used to it. Because you said, I was like watching your things today, and you don't want to be working on it for 2 to 3 hours. You know what I mean? You want to be able to
Yeah.
look at it, run it, and then go with it or not.
Yeah, just go find like the best looking house each day, whatever it is, and go see it. And you can do that once a day for the next 6 months. I don't know. It's just gonna be a huge difference in what you know how to do, and you'll be getting deals regularly because that's just the way it is. I've never done that for any period of
The numbers
time.
game too.
Yeah, even when I was new and knew nothing, I could get on the MLS and I go look at a bunch of deals. And if I did that regularly, like, so when I was really new and I didn't have a coach, I'd spend the whole weekend like an insane maniac on the MLS looking at deals. And I'd find like 10 to 12 deals to look at. And I'd run around all Monday from like 9 in the morning till like 7 at night looking at 12 deals. And then I'd put a couple offers in from those 12 deals. And one of them would generally get accepted every couple weeks if I did that. But that was literally like me working from Friday night to like Sunday, like just have no weekend, just acting like a goofball. But I didn't need a lot of flips then. So if I could just do that to get a flip, I was good.
Right.
We don't need to do all that. From what I've learned over the years is we can be a little more strategic. I was looking at everything, but I was kind of doing it for almost the same thing you're doing it for, is I wanted to get the experience. I just, I think sometimes, you ever heard it's not about practicing. It's not about perfect practice or practicing, not about practicing perfect or perfect. I don't know. I'm not going to use that since I don't actually know the saying. I feel like I done screwed it all up. It's one of the two.
But I feel like I
You
don't
got to just go out and practice, but don't be wasteful around your practice. Make sure it's good practice. It's practice and you're practicing the way you want to run your business.
Mhm.
So just go see things that, like, at least from the computer, convince you to go see them. And if
Right.
not, then spend all your time finding something that's convincing enough to go see. Eventually, you'll make more mistakes when you're new at it. And then eventually say, oh, that's one of those turds. I know that neighborhood. Oh, that's on a busy street. Oh, okay, I know that. That's that weird part that everybody, like, it was very odd where people are like selling drugs in the front yard. I'm not going there. You just start getting it because you'll see the same stuff over and over. And you'll see a lot of the stuff, like, and you just start recognizing the opportunities. But there's no substitute for experience. There is a shortcut for it because some of this stuff, like, Alex been doing 10 years, Ray's been doing like 5 years, I'm like 10 or 11 years. And, I just started getting a really good feel around this probably 2, 3 years into doing it. But the shortcut would be doing it in 6 months or a year and
Okay.
really, that is a big shortcut because, and actually just doing it is huge because we talk about like creating,
Doing it today, I mean, I'm
yeah,
really impressed with myself because I'm normally not a numbers person, but it kind of forced me to get all the categories together and hone down and know what to look for in the MLS, go through the pictures, look at all the information. So that was good. It's just remembering what to look for.
maybe we can ask Ray and Alec too to get feedback. So I wonder, some people are numbers people, but they don't do as well. It's more of an instinctual gut type. Like it's common sense is when I look at deals. And I
Right.
don't, it's almost like looking at it and having a little bit of a common sense approach. Like, oh, this thing don't make sense for this
More
reason.
like check boxes more than like a
For sure.
formula. It's like, okay, I'm checking
Yeah.
these numbers, and these numbers.
Yep, but it's also knowing and getting a feel for what works and what doesn't, right? What do you like see that gets you excited in a deal? You're like, and I would bet that both of you guys, it's probably stuff you've done in the past, and you're like, oh, cool, no, that makes a lot of sense. Those deals go well.
That's what I was going to say with stuff that we've done in the past, like when stuff that we've done in the past, in all honesty, like even we did the well and septic and we had never done that before.
Hmm.
But like I was telling you, like we had great activity, but it was kind of weird for us with getting 10, 12 offers on everything. We had like 4 offers for 50 showings.
Yeah.
That still ended up well, but that, if I call that like our scare, and it's when we did something, it was our avatar house, but it was newer. It wasn't a lot of renovation, but it was the well and septic. So
hmm
the one that we're buying this week, we went like right back to our avatar. Good
So
neighborhood.
just the things you've done before that have shown you success. So Christine,
Yeah.
it's really Martin for you. By the way, Martin happens to be like probably one of my avatars too, like a Cape Cod, like Ray's doing a Cape Cod now, but a
I
Cape Cod, putting a dormer in it, and then taking and making it like 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, finishing the basement. Like those sell all the time, right? I mean, we've done more than I can count. They're not the perfect type of houses. They're not like a nice number rancher or something. Those are
Yeah.
desirable, but we'll see more of them. We see more opportunities around the Cape Cods than we see around like nice ranchers or colonials. We rarely ever see opportunities with colonials because colonials are the most desirable. And I don't know, when somebody has a colonial, it feels like they have a little nicer house. So I think people pay a little more for it.
Right.
So flippers tend to miss out on them because people might emotionally buy them and fix them up themselves. But I can just say over the years, the Cape Cod has been the number one thing. Craftsman, number 2. They go a lot of craftsmen's, and then getting the ranchers being number 3. And in colonials, I haven't even done that many colonials. And split foyers and split levels are up in there too. So right there off the bat, if I see something that's a craftsman, a Cape Cod, a rancher, a split foyer, or a split level, any of those 5 things, I'm like, okay, cool, that fits. These are pretty solid. I will tell you that like newer split foyers and split levels, not so much. I haven't gotten as many deals off the MLS, but I've gotten a decent amount of deals privately. But on the MLS, it really comes down to craftsmen's, ranchers, and Cape Cods off the MLS. So this is some interesting information to have from like, over 1,000 deals. And probably only about 300 of them came from the MLS because most of my deals used to come from a lot of marketing. But, with a couple hundred deals from the MLS, and then just really predominantly are going to be things that are craftsmen's, and they have craftsmen's that are really big and are called 4-square craftsmen's like you see in Hamilton, and they're in really large houses. But if it's any kind of craftsman, a Cape Cod, or a rancher, right off the bat, I peak up a little more. I'm like, ooh, okay, cool. Just like he said, it's like, it's something I've done before, and I know those have made me money, and I've gotten those kind of deals. For whatever reason, when it gets to split foyer, it tends to be like a more modern layout. People can see the vision on it a little bit more, but when we get into super choppy, can't find your way around, like Maryland Avenue, that's a weird layout that requires a little bit of like thought process. You basically came in with about the same process I came, so maybe you have some natural ability for this. This could be your strength, and we'll find out as you do it. But just the fact that you kind of came in and just told me what took me a while to figure out, suggest doing that like your first time, that likely you might be really good at layouts. Tanya was the same way, by the way. Tanya, like literally, I taught it to her, and in a month she was like, having like deeper discussions with me around layout. And within 6 months, she's not as good as me, but she's up there. She's way good. She's better than any of my students in general, which is kind of insane because some of my students have done a lot. But she has a very sharp eye around it, and she definitely brings a lot of value to the team. So that's something that she was naturally good at, and that's why it took her 6 months to figure out something. It took me 6 years to figure out. So it's just our natural thing, right? And anyhow, if that could be yours, and we'll see, and we'll keep working on it. Either way, you'll learn it, but one way you'll just learn it faster if it happens to be.
Well, I think as I was I walked into Willoughby, but that was a different situation. But I realized because I'm trying to hone in on like what I'm good at, like where am I going to be the
Mhm.
strongest and the most supportive with the
Yep.
split between the two of us. And
Yeah.
so Mike is really pushing me to do the module 3, and I have 2. I think I was just nervous about it, but I truly liked walking in with that challenge of trying to make it work. Like it was challenging for me, and that's what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, I think you did a good job with it. So, use the quick reno estimator be the next thing for you. So I think that was in that training.
Yeah, it was. And I have to have Excel, so I have to get downloaded on this computer. Like,
So what you can do is you can download that into Google Docs or into Google Sheets, which is like Google's version of Excel, and you should be able to put it.
from on
Mhm.
from the
Yeah. Throw it in your drive and then just put open in Google Sheets, and it should open it in Google Sheets, and hopefully it won't mess it up. But if it does, then we might be able to fix it and make it work. But if you can just open it in Google Sheets, then you can have it on your Google Drive account. The reason you want to use that,
how you had all those options. Like it was so clear to me
yeah,
about above 1,500, below. You know what I mean? It's like
mhm,
50,000, or if it's going to be a row home in the city, and then like saving drywall, windows, like the bathroom, like different things
yeah.
like that, like cabinet bases, like that all clicked in with me today, and it really got. I was just surprised at how interested I actually was in trying to
Yeah.
figure it out and finding a
So
place.
you start with that, using that until you feel comfortable, and then showing some of it to me. You can come to the 12 o'clock call, and we have a 6:30 call too. So you're able to come to those calls if you just want to kind of jump in and like say, "Hey, John, I want to run this deal, buy your deal analyzer, buy you any of those things." You're welcome to come to whatever's more convenient for you, also. But if you start just doing that regularly, I was able to get a guy in 3 weeks to really be able to do that almost as well as me in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Get pretty good at it. It's not accurate, right? It's not highly accurate. It's very good though to stop you from being at 90K when you should be at 65K. It will stop that from happening. And that's important because we don't want you to be 20, 30K off, because you'll never win a deal if you're like 80K and I think it's 65. That 15 grand, you can see like it would make you offer like 105 where I'm offering 121. And that's a pretty big difference if you really think about it. Because I already think I have no chance of getting it because they're at 150, but you basically are completely out of the game. Or I'm at least playing the long game, thinking like one day they're going to come, kind of go down sometime. They've been at 150 forever, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I think they would have came down some, but I don't know. This particular agent doesn't seem to ever move his price. They've been at that price for almost 60 days, so it's
Yeah,
unusual.
I think it was like 54, I think I thought today.
Yeah. So work on that to start with, and then what we'll do to even tighten it up more is the kind of line item budget that you did for Martin. You'll start
Yep.
just doing those with your little laptop. You can literally just walk through in 10 minutes and do a whole line item for them.
Yeah.
So if you got your line item, you figure out your design. You can basically walk in houses, and your competitive advantage is going to be knowing exactly like all the real numbers versus walking in like your competitors walking in and guessing. Hey
Mhm.
man, yeah, that's probably 70 to 75 or 70. I like that 70 to 90. Okay, let's just do 90.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, yeah, we definitely somewhere between 230 to 250. Oh, well, let's do 250, but maybe they'll come high on the comps, maybe they'll go low, but either way, they're like, yeah, you have to offer 90 on this thing. When
Mhm.
really you can offer 120. And it's a big difference if you're getting the numbers all whacked out. So it's good when you're going real tight with the numbers, so that way you're getting in that perfect little sweet spot where you're offering enough, but you're not offering too much. And it's really important. You don't want to offer low, but you also obviously do not want to, be in there offering too much and buying bad deals, but we definitely don't want to be offering low either. And
Is
most
that
people
why
don't
you
get it that accurate.
and that's why you try to keep with that 70%?
I don't try to keep with 70%, but when you go, there is a deal analyzer too. So I'm sure you've seen that in the training.
Yeah.
So the training actually has a sliding scale. So
Mhm.
if you look at it, you have to look at your ARV and then decide based on the ARV, what is your sliding scale. So if your ARV is 250, then that's going to let you go up to 73, 74%.
Okay. Okay.
70% is usually going to be around 200. If you go to 350, you might be 76. You can
Okay.
mess, and all those numbers can be tweaked a little bit. You don't want to break them. You can bend them though.
Send them, yeah.
So if it's 72, you can bend
Wrong
them.
with the quiz.
Yeah, don't break them though. You don't want to be like, it said 72 and I want 82. That's going to probably be problematic. But if it's like 72, you want to look at it. You might say, Mike, it says 72, but at 74, I'm still making 32K in profit. I still really
Yeah.
like the deal, and I feel like the comps are really strong. I could even get more. Then I'll bend it some because that still makes sense to me. We can bend it a little bit, right? So for you, the main focus for you is not even analyzing the deal yet. It's actually just looking at the comps and looking at the layout. And then once you understand the layout, then doing a quick budget based on the changes you're going to make.
Okay.
And then trying to get the numbers down. Then you learn to run it through the analyzer, and you can start saying, this is what a deal looks like. This process that we just talked about, like I said, if you took 6 months and you got good at this,
Yeah.
trust me on this, your value is going to be super high.
Okay.
So I don't even think she's gotten really good at the layout stuff, but she hasn't gotten all that great at the deal analyzation yet because she hasn't been doing it, because it's just easier for me to do.
Right.
She kind of like puts me in like, what do you think? And I'm just like, here, let me do it. I ain't got no time to teach. So like, oh, okay, cool. That's fine. You just do it. It's like her trick to get me to take her work. Next thing you know, I'm like, do you do anything, or do I just have to do it all? And so hold on, you keep tricking me. Like, what's next? Like the tricks. Anyhow, so yes, if you do that, it's really valuable, and it would give Michael, by he's doing a million other things, it would create the consistency of someone being able to say, Micah, I think we have a deal. Right. And that's, look, if you can qualify and then go through stuff and qualify and then filter through and be like, we have a deal, can you look at it with me? And then you're just bringing him the good stuff, man. I'll tell you, when Tanya does that for me, it makes my life really amazing.
And I feel like that he would be good at that too. Like it's like I have to bring it to him, and once I bring it to him, he's like, okay, let's go. But I want to be good.
For sure. What he's not good at is the same thing as me, is the discipline of doing it every day consistently, and then no matter what, not getting distracted and doing that forever. Like, he didn't realize it's kind of like if you meet rich people. I had two people, Delonte, I think you guys knew, and then Dave, you guys probably never met him. They're both finance. They love financing. They both live like, old cars and live in like their parents' basements. And I don't know, their total bills are like $15K a year. I never seen anything like it. They're like 27. Like, unbelievable, right? They lived on nothing, but they always had money, and I'm sure they'll have money the rest of their lives because they don't spend a lot of money. So if they ever get to the point where they're making 100, 200K a year, they basically just have money because they save, they invest, they don't spend, right? They don't have big houses, big cars, nothing. They just save. If you meet anyone like that, the reason people like that get rich is not because they're great rainmakers around making money. It's because they're super tightwads at saving money, and they make the same money as any normal person, just what they do with it is very different. The reason I tell this story is because they're consistently saving money over long periods of time. Right? Warren Buffett says, like, the eighth wonder of the world is compounding interest. He's like, basically he's like 80 or 90 years old. I don't know. He's super old, but he's been investing for like 60 years. And he's like a billionaire, like worth like 70 or $80 billion, because he just consistently has been growing stuff forever. So the consistency of you doing this every day, Micah could know 20 times as much as you, but if you're consistent at this, you could know like 20% of what he knows, and you will crush his results all day long because of your consistency. Consistency always beats like talent that's not consistent. Right? So maybe he has some talent around this, but if he's not consistent, which he will not be because that's who he is, and he has so much going on, he's kind of like the guides, the multitasking and doing a lot of stuff, just like me. Consistency will ground him and bring him to a place where he will be able to be his best self. And your ability to stay focused will be huge. So somebody at least, right? I've been teaching Tanya to help me do that. And sometimes she gets out of focus with me because sometimes she follows me into the weeds, and that's okay. And then I gotta be, oh crap, I'm taking you with me. Crap, let me stop doing that, because that's a little, we don't want to mess up our consistency, but she is very consistent around some of the things she does. Even the PPC stuff she does, she's just super consistent around it, and that's why she wins. However, every week when she's done doing what she's doing, my brain power is to be able to look at everything she's doing and strategically make the decisions, because I can look at it and say, what about this? How about that? I can really just think through all the scenarios and think of the most, wise way of doing it. But then, because my brain goes well with that, but I'm good at coming in and thinking deep into things and multiple steps into things quickly. She's good at digging a half hour every day and messing with it and doing it consistently forever. Because you do something like, you do this just an hour a day, half hour a day. I don't care if you do it 3 days a week, 5 days a week, but just no less than 3 days, no more than 5.
Well, I was going to do it Monday through Friday. I was going to ask you, is there a certain time or days that I should be doing it to be the most efficient? Like, should I be waking up at 6 a.m. and doing it? Like, just
do it if you first thing in the morning is the best time to do it, I think. In general, because before stuff gets too crazy and the day gets away from you.
Sure.
Afternoon. The problem with the afternoon is if you can't make the afternoon, it gets pushed to the next day. If you can't make it 7 in the morning for some reason, then it gets pushed to lunch. And if you can't make lunch, it gets pushed to 4. Generally gets done, right? So I always believe first thing in the morning. It tends not. Also, I find that I don't run into too much fires that need to be put out at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, your phone is
Yeah.
going off as much.
Yeah, by like 4, there's all kind of stuff that's been going on. Fires are burning and everything. It's kind of bad. So yeah, I like to do my analyzation in the morning and deal hunting in the morning. So if I get up whenever, if you get up 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's nice just spend like an hour. It's out the way. And then if you find something you really like, it gives you the rest of the day to maybe run out and see something if there is something hot. So if there's nothing hot, then, it'd be like, hey, I'm going to go, I'll see this tomorrow. There's nothing worth really time my time on the day. That is an acceptable outcome for the day, but ultimately you want to be seeing about 3 houses a week and making offers on one house every week, roughly. You can see more than that in the beginning just to get your reps in. If you want to see 5, 10 houses a week, that's fine. You can see I've seen like 7 the other day. And I think those 7 took me I left at like 7 in the morning. I was back by 12:30 or 1.
Okay.
It's not like, it's not like seeing that many is not impossible, and that's because I knew my week was busy. So I kind of seen like a lot of what I was going to see on Monday and knowing I wouldn't be able to see anything. And in time, you've seen 2 today.
Mhm.
So, and then, now from that, we're probably going to not see much more this week, but it's better to be consistent. I'm just trying to get through some stuff and make sure I'm not missing any good opportunities. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Let's talk more once you're doing it a little bit more, but I think just keep watching the video, keep doing, practicing, analyzing deals, just like we just did. It's perfect to bring that by, see where I'm at versus where you are, and constantly just keep making the adjustments and understanding like why I'm where I am versus where you are. And then you'll kind of tune into what works.
Yeah.
But don't get butthurt if it's not perfect ever. It's kind of never perfect, right? It's just a second set of eyes. My coach don't know anything about real estate. And sometimes he'll look at a deal and be like, what about this? And I'm like, how did I miss that? Now this guy ain't never did a flip before. And I'm like, how the hell is he showing me up? Second set of eyes. Right? Second set of eyes is scary. They see stuff you don't see.
Yeah, it's scary, but you have to be willing to. For me, I think it's a attitude. You got to be willing to accept the things that you didn't see and be able to adjust from it.
Think of like second set of eyes as quality control. That's all, right? Just ability quality control. Something just came off my Trello. Tanya must be messing with it. So I got some comps I want to look at with Alec. Alec, do you want to share your screen?
You talking to me?
Alec, let's see. He wants to take some look at some comps real quick.
Okay.
I think I got to let you do it. Let me see what I got to do here. Let me get my Zoom. Oh, I got to stop sharing. Oh, share screen. Okay, you should be able to share yours. Alec got like, I don't know, $60,000 or $70,000 over a list. So on his last house he just sold, he listed for $375 and sold it for $443 at $442, something like that. And so we're trying to figure out the comps, how we're gonna magically make these comps appear.
Comp magic.
Yeah, comp magic. Me and Rave had to do this a few times, and the comp magic, it's worked though. Actually, a few times we did it. It was pretty close. It's interesting.
Okay, so where we want to go, meaning the higher number comps, they're all in the same zip code. So you want me?
Are they within a half-mile radius?
I don't think we looked at a half mile before and we didn't really see much. So probably not. I mean, it's about 1.33 miles to the beach, in that direction.
So where do you feel like some of the comps, like you think like 0.7, 0.8?
Yeah, hadn't really got a chance to kind of to look at it yet.
Let's take a look and see what we can come up with, but we definitely gonna have to make some stuff up.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to go 6 months to start, or do you want to go 3?
Let's try 3 and see what we get.
Okay.
Because we want to try to use 3 so we can get rid of the other comps that were kind of contradictory. Because you had 2 other comps that were like exactly your house in the same like subdivision that were only like 370 something. So the fact that you got 440 is not. Those are not ones we want to really bring into play. Yeah. So we have to find a reason to kind of disqualify and be like, oh man, those are old. These are the new ones. That's the only thing I can think of right now. We might find something.
Okay, let me just see. Attached. we don't want to put a cap on square feet, right? And like you're saying, I mean, those can be included if they look good. So I got 73.
We don't want it to be ridiculous. What was your square footage? Like 1,200 square feet?
Yeah, it's like 1230 or something.
Yeah, I would probably go no more than 15 or 16 max. Because you don't want to start showing them like 2,000 square foot comps. That might be a little tough.
Do you like to go in with anything pending, or you want to just
Yeah,
stick with
you
small
can
stuff?
throw a pending in for sure. You can't
Okay.
have you predominantly your comps need to be closed, but if
Okay.
you have an active and a pending that shows some seriously high numbers, like that would be awesome.
Okay.
Because they'll accept like one active, one pending, and I believe. I mean, you know this. You've been an appraiser, so I don't know. I mean, this is what they've told me. Like they can include, but they need like 2 to 3 solds, but they
For
can
sure.
include one active and a pending or something,
Yeah.
just to
yeah.
kind of set the tone to kind of back up what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let me just
Go into your sold price and go highest to lowest for me. You know, you click it at where it says sold price, and then it'll actually just sort of rearrange everything properly.
okay.
400,000. We could live 1 mile from the beach in San Diego. I'm just saying. I feel like I need to get my shit together and move to San Diego. Right now, I mean, I'm not wanting to move, but talk to me in December. I mean,
Yeah. Right.
whew, gotta make that happen.
Okay. This one's going to be it's a block from the beach, so a block and a half.
It's 479.
It's 2.5. It's exactly the same layout. It's a little smaller. It's got garage spots, and it's only 465. But I don't know if that's our. Well, I guess that would probably work. Let me
Well,
see what-
we're hoping that the whole near the beach versus not as close to the beach is not going to be that impactful.
Right.
Even though we kind of know it is, we're just hoping they'll be like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
This is probably older cabinets that have been painted. You know, it's not
sure.
not nearly as nice. So
Well, let's pull it in. Let's take that as our first one, and then
yeah,
we'll get a
I think
couple, and then we'll choose through them. But
Okay.
so what we got to do for everyone who's watching, I don't know if Ray's still here or not, but Ray's done this with me before. But when we get too high comps, we got to like sit there and just figure out like something we can show the appraiser to make justify the reason we got too much. And it don't always have to make perfect sense. We just want it to make as much sense as it can. Is that the next highest sold? Is 399?
Yeah, well, there's kind of 2 different zip codes in here, so it'll stage them highest to lowest on one zip code, and then highest to lowest again. So
Okay.
these are all not even.
Yeah, they're not helping us.
No. So let's see here.
If you got that one sold, that's pretty solid. I'd pull that in. That's one piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so that's 1, 3, 2. Okay, 1, 5, 4. Yeah, you know, it goes from the 6s. There's one in the 5s. It's 1,700 square feet. That one we got is the best one right there.
Well, let's. What about the 479? Is that ours? Oh yeah, 498. What about that one? It's 1,700. Okay, it's a little big.
Yeah, 1,700. Everything else is like kind of, you know, 500 square feet bigger.
Is there anything else besides that one comp? I mean, didn't you have a couple comps or no?
Let's see on, you know, so you see the sold, it goes from within 2 comps, it goes from 500 to 420. That's kind of like, I guess, the issue.
Let me see the 420 and just see if there's anything we can kind of pull from that, because we're only like 20K higher than that.
Yeah, it's in my same zip code, but my zip code goes across a freeway, and it's on the other side, and it's like a 2018 build. So
we don't want to use that then.
yeah,
Okay.
that wouldn't work. So let me see pending.
Huh. Pendings could make the point that like, hey, the values are going up. So
Oh, for
pendings,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, we could definitely use a pending and an active. You know, it looks like another pending there at 492. I'd pull all the pendings.
Yeah, I mean,
Just be like, look, and
that's just
what maybe that's our case. Like, hey, dude, the values have skyrocketed.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's only 9.25 square feet.
Yeah, that's
And
definitely a
another
good one. Yeah, I mean, we can just start trying that. I think that might be our only case then. That like, hey, the values are just skyrocketing.
Right.
Because like most of your high solds are pending. You get $500,000 solds, and
Yeah.
how old is yours?
It's like 80s built.
Yeah, so the 90s fine, even 2000's fine. 80s
Okay.
and 2000 are not real different. Like when it's brand new, 2018, that's kind of like a little different. But as soon as it's like 20 years old, then just anything 20 or 40 is really not very different.
Yeah. Even 2000. See, these are all going to be, I can tell by the address, they're all going to be, 2 blocks from the beach, 3 blocks from the beach. But
That's okay.
yeah,
We're 10 blocks from the beach.
that's it.
Great news. You can get shape when you walk to the beach where we live. People that only live
Look
2
at
blocks
that
away
beach.
are fat because they don't get enough walk. They're like, get your 10,000 steps every morning walking to the beach.
Right. No need to buy a gym membership,
Exactly.
right? Yep.
No, there's no eating Twinkies and being too close to the beach. Also, hey, good news. When the tsunami hits, you probably will have oceanfront property.
Yeah. Okay. So
To find all the great ways to sell it. Oceanfront property. Those people down on the beach, they're clearly going to be dead.
Okay, so if we go,
So
Okay,
it seems
yeah.
like, so it seems like what we're going to have to do is make unfortunately, we're going to have to make a pending. But damn, you got a lot of pendings. That's the thing. So you
Yeah.
know, look, if you had 1 or 2 pendings, but if you can I would actually just show them all the pendings and just be like, look, man, the comps have went up.
This
Here's
is the way the
proof.
market's going. Yeah.
Boom, here's the proof, right? It ain't just me who got this, man. It's what everything's going for. Because he
Yep.
knows these pendings will all be comps, and he knows that all these didn't end up going for a lot less than they were listed for. Because I don't know what their days on market was, but
Oh yeah, look at the days on market: 0, 3, 18,
Yeah,
6,
90,
5.
1,
You just got 2, 90 and 140 that, so we can probably even get rid of those, right?
potentially, yeah. Let's look at them and see. That one has a beach picture in it, so yeah, get rid of that one.
Yeah.
It's also got a picture like it's on the beach almost.
Yeah,
Let's get rid of that
Seacoast.
one.
That's going to be.
So we don't need that one.
Okay, so let's go.
30 and all that's not going to hurt you, but like 140 maybe, but
Yeah, so that's the beach. So that's
Yeah.
that's block, second block. But
okay.
that's a townhouse. It's it's got garages where mine doesn't, but I mean it looks like it's kind of old inside. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not up to date. Look at this thing compared to yours. So I love showing these shitty houses, and we're just hoping that they won't take like a big understanding of the beach and stuff, right? It'll just
Right.
be like whatever. Because look,
Yeah.
if they're smart appraisers, they know the beach matters, but the question for them is like, will the bank actually pick up on that? The bank's definitely not picking up on 7 blocks from the beach versus 3. I mean, you were an appraiser in San Diego. Did they ever give you any kickback if you use comps that are closer? I know that a real appraisal, we would want to like when we're accurate, but like, does the bank care?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time not.
Yeah, right. They don't. I feel like that's too detailed for the bank. The bank picks up on like glaring problems. They don't generally pick up on small like even appraisers and investors don't often pick up on the difference of 7 blocks from the beach versus 2. I mean,
Right.
you were recognizing it, but if we ever were actually buying a deal and we were looking at comps, we would be recognizing it because we clearly see things sell for more closer to the beach. But I don't know. I feel like it's something we might be able to get away with. So this is a decent strategy. So basically, here's what we're doing. We're looking for our best strategy, and the only strategy Alec really has to try to get 442 or 443, whatever it was, is he's gonna have to just try to use all these pendings to be like, look, this is where the market's heading. Like everyone's selling for more now. Like these are the numbers, and I know we don't have comps if you go back real far, but like this is what everything's selling for right now. There's been an uptick with due to the and you could show them all those pendings that are it's all higher than yours too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They're all higher than yours. So I think that's a very compelling argument when you got that many pendings, like 4 or 5 pendings, not like 1 pending. You're not hanging. What I like about what you're showing right now is you're not trying to hang your hat on like one off the wall sale.
Right.
You're like, hey, here's my one off the wall sale plus like 5 pendings that should, are all higher than mine and around mine.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's going to be the best we can do. And honestly, if you're trying to plant that 450 number in his head, and it's going to make, hopefully he'll give us as close to the number you're at as possible.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. All those are like, 2 blocks. So that's going to be the sell. I mean, there's just nothing else in there. And that's how that usually goes. It's just not a lot of that type of inventory. Yeah. It's kind of like the last beach in California that's semi-affordable. So,
Imperial Beach?
Imperial, it's called? Imperial Beach.
How far are you from, like, what are the beaches near you?
Yeah, I mean, you're a stone's throw from Coronado Beach, which is the most expensive one on the planet. I mean, really. And then the rest of the coastline is kind of still Navy and, that kind of commercial
you go down
stuff.
A bit, then you have like Pacific Beach and all that, or
yeah, PB's. Yeah, that's north of downtown San Diego. This is south. This is like on the border, basically. I mean,
Tijuana.
Yep.
Sweet.
So if we look on this map, like Tijuana's right here.
Oh wow.
It's right there. There's an estuary, but there you go, Tijuana.
What is it? Is it pretty nice? Like, what is it? Because I know when you go to Pacific Beach, it's a little sketchy. Like it's
PB's
drugs at Pacific Beach. They kept trying to sell me drugs and shit. I'm like,
yeah, PB's like a 20s and 30s partying kind of crowd.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was something like people that look like they had warrants out for their arrest.
Oh yeah, of course.
Pacific Beach is like there was some. I remember we were eating at a taco place and this just crackhead just started fighting with herself. Like she was like started punching herself in the face, and I was like, holy shit, who's winning? And she's like literally asked Tiny, she's like, who's she fighting? And I'm like, then she started fighting this cart she was pushing around. I'm like, all right, people are on drugs when they start fighting the grocery cart, like homeless people.
Yeah, that's time to leave.
That's kind of like California. We're just sitting there laughing our asses off. She's like, is this okay? I'm like, I think we're okay. She's not fighting us. It's like right now, as long as you're not a grocery cart, you're pretty safe.
Yeah, and put it in perspective, that's twice as expensive as here.
Oh, I know. It's very cool there, but it was at the same time. It was definitely some goofballs running around. All right, so I think this is going to be your strategy. Just make sure nothing in here looks like it's going to glaringly stand out, like too big a square footage. So yeah, it's almost better if you got like the same kind of house, same square footage, not quite as nice. The only thing that we're trying to lie about is one thing. We don't want to lie about everything. So we don't want to have a lot of discrepancies. The only discrepancy we really have, and it's consistent, is that these are closer to the beach. But we want them to feel like very solid comps otherwise. Okay. Right? If he doesn't care much about it being 2 blocks versus 7 blocks from the beach, then we want him to feel good about everything otherwise, right?
Okay.
We don't want to do like 2 blocks of the beach, bigger square footage, different type of house. If we start doing too much, then it's just going to be like, this shit's all over the place, and they're going to kind of want to dig in.
Yeah, out of these 9 comps, we're bigger than 7 of them.
Sweet. Yeah, none of them are really big, so that's awesome.
Yeah, they're not. They're all 2 bedrooms. None of them.
These are good. Dude, go with these and just be like, hey, look at the pendings, man. Look, I get it, but this is where the pendings are. So
yeah, okay.
You got 1 sold, and you got 1 million pendings, and some of them are coming in at 5.25. Dude, I love throwing a 5 and a 35 out, because then if he's like, well, that's because they're close to the beach, you can be like, oh, that's the 5 and that's the 550s close to the beach. We're only 440, man. Come on. Like that's right. That's the stuff. Like we're here. We're still close to the beach. Yeah, you can walk there in 5 minutes. So you just have to.
That's the buyers are probably looking at. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean 7-10 blocks from the beach is not very different than 2. Obviously, we know 2 is more valuable, but same time, I like these comps because the other comps I didn't like much. They were kind of sucky.
Okay.
And then when you're printing them out, do a different view. When you print them out, do a gallery view. This is like a line view. So if you can go to it, and I'll show you how you want to print them out just so they can see them. Like I said, if you give them more details, then so I think there's if you go up to.
I can print them out separately, instead
not
of
separately, because then they got to look at all of them. So what you do is do a gallery view where it's giving like a snapshot that's about that wide. So maybe 3 to a page is what it ends up being. So it'd be like 3 pages for like 9 of them. So if you do individual, it'd be like 9 pages. So I think it's more called a gallery or a gallery or agent view or something like that.
All right, I can play with that. But the other question I had was, do we want to put up any type of fight with the ones that are in the complex that, do we want to say, hey, you want to address it and get ahead of them? It's like, this one was like 9 months ago, or should I just like
No, just show them, say, keep
don't
all your
poke the bear?
focus on this. Yeah, keep all your focus on this, and then hope they just are lazy and they'll take your comps, and then they'll just present these to the bank, right? That's
Okay.
it. Just push them in a direction. Tell them. Most of this is all about just telling them what you need and what you feel, so that way they are pushing towards making you happy, right? 'Cause, look, they live in San Diego, so I feel like they should be more laid back than everywhere. I mean, people in San Diego are more laid back than East Coast people. So, and even it's funny enough, like Ray always tells me, like, man, our appraisers are harder than yours. I'm like, it does seem like they get more intense the more north we go. Like, like jerks, like they're more jerks and stuff. But the more cool people are, when it's like, people are Southern, there's more hospitality, they tend to be more accommodating. And we're looking for someone to be more accommodating here. And to be like, yeah, man, I think I can work this out. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't want to piss people off. New York, it's like, hey, who gives a fuck if I piss him off? F him.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely like a New York thing, right? Like a New York / like so anyhow.
Cool. Okay.
Awesome. So then that's your comps. What else then? Oh, your budget. Just take your budget and just double everything in your budget and pull out like a line item and tell them you spent like double, because they're going to see what you paid for it, and they're also going to want to make sure that feels good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we already did that. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, cool. Well, let me know how it goes. You only got one appraisal, so obviously meet them there if you can. If not, then, and this has been our alternative as for COVID, is we can't meet them, then leave it and say, hey, I'm going to leave you some comps and a budget on the counter for you, and then email them to them and make sure they got them and confirm they got them.
Okay. Cool.
They'll even sometimes say, like, dude, just send me your comps. It's all good, man. Yeah, we'll be fine. They're just like, most of the time, I mean, that's what I'm hearing, because they're all busy, man. They don't have time to be messing around.
Yeah.
They don't have time to be fighting with nobody right now. You just got to give them a good enough reason not to underappraise you.
Cool. Awesome.
Hey, Arshawn, how's it going, man?
It's going good.
How's the house looking? Is it close?
Yeah, it's close.
It's been close for like a year now. We got to get this thing on the market.
I know.
It's like it's right there, man. It's like right at the edge.
It's right at the edge. Just waiting for these inspections.
Oh, yeah. So the guy never came, or what happened?
No, they came and wanted me to, they tried to question my permits, so I had to send some information in, then see if they'll sign off on it once they have the information. The inspector was kind of a pain.
Really?
Yeah.
So, so what did he tell you to do from this point?
I had to send in a copy of my permits because it was a she. She didn't think that, for whatever reason, she didn't think my permits were closed out, which they were.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that BG&E would turn anything on in the house is if I passed the inspections.
So when you say her, are you talking about a woman from BG&E, or are you talking?
No, from the city.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she gave me a little bit of a tough time yesterday.
Why wouldn't she
but
know that? She wouldn't know if she doesn't know, like, if the permits have been closed out. She should know that.
Yeah. She was, again, like I said, she was just kind of being a bit of a pain, but I sent in the permits and everything, and hopefully that will work everything out.
She's gonna tell you, when did she give you an idea when she'll like kind of let you know what's going on?
Yeah, by the end of the week, hopefully.
Well, that's
if not before.
Gee, that's just like, hey, you guys are killing me. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Stay on it. But now, so with her, are you able? Is that the one that told you don't put any furniture in it?
Yes.
But she's already came though, so can't you put the furniture in now?
No, because I don't want a chance that she pops up again.
Well, I don't understand why you're not able to stage it, because like staging it is not like no one's moving in. I get she's saying like no one can move in until we fix this. That makes total sense. But the argument I'd be making if she did say anything to you is that this is my house. I'm storing stuff. No one's living here. It's just staging. It's like not livable stuff because it really isn't. Most of the stuff you can't even sit on it. So do you get my point? I think at this, it's
Right.
not like you're moving in, because when they say like you can't move in, when you don't have an occupancy permit, you can't legally occupy the property. However, your furniture can occupy it, like your tools can occupy it. Human beings can't. So like, and I get where sometimes like she's saying don't bring furniture, and she's like thinking like that's people occupying it. But
Mhm.
I think that I don't think they have an issue with staging. Because they, there's no reason, there's no law that you can't sell it. It's just the only law is you can't occupy it. So I would really consider, man, getting this thing on the market. I mean, look, it's only a couple days till Friday, but at some point, I would just plan on getting this thing on the market and getting it going and beg for forgiveness versus asking permission. Honestly, I would just
Right.
I'd have the conversation of like, hey, I know I can't occupy this, but no one's going to occupy this until we have this cleared up. But I need to put my staging somewhere. I sold another house and I need to get my staging out of it, so I just put it here. Like, I'm allowed to have stuff in the house, right? I mean, why wouldn't I be allowed to have anything? Because the only 2 points she could be making is it can't be occupied, and she don't want furniture in so she can do her inspection. But she's done her inspection now, so she don't need to inspect anymore. So you just say, hey, I thought you said don't put any before you came Friday is what I would say. Or you came Friday,
Gotcha.
we were all good. It was just a matter of you looking at some paperwork. So I would consider calling the stager and getting this thing on the market, man, and getting this thing done. So, that way you can deal with this stuff like later on.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that way it ain't pressing you, and you can, because I feel like it's getting hot right now, and I don't want to wait a couple weeks. Who knows what happens, man? I feel like the market's kind of go up and down in that neighborhood, but I have seen some
Right.
things selling just recently, so I'm interested if things are selling to try to get stuff going.
No, I agree with you.
Think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then if I was you, I would call the stager and be like, when can you come, kind of thing. And then just, know that if she comes back, just, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not living there.
Okay.
Simple enough. Okay, cool. Well, good luck with that. Let me know if you run into anything else, because I know you want to get that on the market and get it sold and get moving. How about your other property? Did you call your hard money lender yet on the other one that you're considering keeping?
Now, but actually, could we go over that one if you have time for it?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't want to step on nobody else's toes.
No, forget that, man. That don't mean anything to me. No, so what do you want to go over with? Comps?
Yeah, I want to see the comps that you use, just so I have a good idea once I, kind of present everything to the lender.
Yeah, you got to do it soon, but let me share screens and we'll go them right now. But the comps are pretty conclusive. So from a lender standpoint, like, dude, they don't look at comps as tight as I look at them, right? I mean, you were looking at them real tight. That's why we put like a 270. What we're going to do with the lenders, we're going to send them all the comps that are kind of like Alex's comps, where we were like sending them stuff that was 2 blocks from the beach versus 7. So me and him know that matters, but most people don't care about that stuff. So let's pull it up and I'll show you what comps I would use for this. And I'm sending them to you when I'm done, by the way. So you'll have. And honestly, if you're calling Michael Crump, you can literally telling him that I did the comps for you and reviewed the deal is very meaningful, because he knows, like, he's seen my work and he knows, like, I don't ever really get the comps wrong. So he literally like defers to me on a lot of stuff, even though he's done a lot of flips. He's like, he calls me about bullshit. So he respects the fact that I'm not going to give bullshit comps to him, which we're not, by the way. We're giving strong comps to him, and you'll probably get the number that we're going to give him. But your deal doesn't need to meet those comps to work, by the way. Your deal works at 250, like big time, and you get 270, 280, 290. That's just an insane deal. So your point for what was your address?
2518 Hamilton Avenue.
You're 2,000 square feet. Let's just take a look. I just want to show you what's going on. So I sold one very close to you for 305 about 6 months ago, and the market's went up since then. So this one is 5'4", 2,100 square feet, and it's currently active for 367. Okay. I don't really know what they're thinking. They probably aren't going to sell. I don't have a problem saying that. That's the same number, but I don't know, man. They got 349 here. So like, what your house looks like. So your house is pretty big. That's it. You got a really big house. This one's like 400 square foot bigger than you and closed at 350. All right. This one here is like 200 square foot bigger, but I think you could probably get a 5.3 in there, right? If we
Yes.
we have to look at it, but you probably could do 5.3. So if you got a 5.31 and you're 2,000 square foot versus a 22, dude, that ain't a big difference. Like seriously, that ain't a big difference at all. So here's what we're showing them. I mean, we'll even show them this one. We know this is bigger, but goddamn, dude, that's like crazy comp. And look at all the comp. Now this is not even as big as yours, so I love using this comp. This one's only 1,300 square feet, 531, but it's only 1,300 square feet, and it's pending at 299. So you see why I was like pumped about you getting this deal and taking this deal. Gibbons, 1,800 square foot, 4.3, 298. I mean, dude, there's way more comps. Like the comps start getting smaller as we get down here. Like 1,800, 1,500. Here's Hamilton Avenue. Let's love this one. This one's 280 active, and it's only 1,500 square feet, and it don't even look rehabbed all that nice. Look at this. I think it is rehab, but I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's a little plain looking. Like the kitchen. Look at the kitchen, how small it is. It's like a baby kitchen. Look at that kitchen, dude. That kitchen's like nice, but it's small. Your house ain't gonna have a small kitchen because I'll make sure you lay it out right. You don't put a small kitchen in it. You know, you got 2,000 square foot. Your kitchen should be rocking, right? You're gonna get a great kitchen. I don't even know. I seen that at Home Depot for like 59 cents, that tile. Overall, it's a clean house, but it ain't nothing special is what I'd like to say. Nothing special. And dude, they're sitting, where are they at? Oh, cool. They're active. Well, you can show them that one. They're active. This is what people are trying to get, man. Look at these. So like this one's pending. I mean, I don't think you need to go any farther because look, here's what I love. 270 and it's a 3-1 active for 1,650 and it's not even got a second bathroom, man. So we were talking 270 is the number, right?
Yeah.
Is an insane number for this, by the way. And you can see like this is what so you don't just want to look at what's sold because things have changed quite a bit in the last 30 to 60 days, like went up big time. But this is what other people are looking at. You think if they walk through this house and coming to yours at 269, they're not going to be like, oh my God, we got to buy this. Of course they are. By the time we nail the layout on your house and get that layout really dialed in, this would be one you'd want to get Tanya for sure. Because Tanya can really just like, just the layout is worth the $500. She will maximize every ounce of space in a big house like that. Your row home, she can only do so much because it's a row home. But when you get her in a big house like this, she'll have every little ounce figured out where you can make people walk through. And this, I find that the houses I've been doing better with are the bigger, like 2,000 square feet, because she literally gets everything in those. So she gets every dream in there. She gets the pantry, the beautiful master suite. She'll get closet sizes are proportionate, everything, man. We can make the house have like every check box that everyone's ever dreamed about. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I'm totally confident with these numbers. You don't throw this one in. I think this one's even insane too. But bottom line is, and then, you know, these are active under contract, 265. I mean, look, that's 4 days on the market. So here's the math too. Let me just kind of get rid of these and so I can send them to you. You got good comps, man. If you tell them I just think it's 270, which I think you're fine. You don't need to. If you were actually doing real numbers, I would tell them like 280, 290, just so that you can negotiate down. But you got this thing so cheap, you don't need to do that. You're like, it's crazy where you are right now. So let me see real quick. Let me print them and send them to you. Remind me of the address one more time.
2518 Hamilton.
2518. Okay, thanks. Man, I gotta download these real quick. I forgot how to do it. Oh, you know why I can't find it? No, the download button was behind your head. Well, then why can't I remember the download? 2518. 25. All right, I'll send those to you. And
Okay.
here, I'll send them to you right now. Just wait for me to send them. All right, so you got those. Let's run a budget on it too while we're at it, because I'm going to show you guys so you guys see this. This is kind of my process. We come through, you do the comps, and look, those comps, he's putting the comps at 270. I'm super confident about the comps. Like, I think on a good day, you might get considerably more for this, Darshan. So you actually have upside. Me and Alec were talking about this earlier, like buying houses with upside. At 270, there's a chance you can get 290, 300 for this because you've seen what was selling for 300. So there's like, I would not be surprised if you got that kind of number for it, especially negotiated properly. There's a good chance. So go to project management docs. I'm just going to do a quick budget for you. And that way you can give it to them. We're going to run it at about 100, 25, 15. This is my process when I do this. I literally do this for every house I'm getting ready to make an offer on or buy, and it takes me like 20 minutes to do, where I've just got like some really detailed stuff. Christine and everyone else is where I was saying this is where you want to get to, where you can literally do this kind of stuff. But I like line iteming every budget out, because watch, I'm going to do this in real time with you, and I'm not going to explain too much. But yeah, this stuff, Darshan, you can fill this in and change it. I'll send you in a Word doc, and you can just make some of the changes here, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time on the wording of it. But I mean, did you have a deck on the back or no?
Yes.
You do, and it just needs some repairs, right?
Yes.
Got it. So we'll just call that like, $1,000, $1,500. Windows, you need all new windows, or could you save them?
All new windows.
All new windows. You probably need like 20, 250, 10 times, 5,000. You need about 20 of them. So we'll call it about 5,500 on the windows. Let's see. Labor, it's like half and half, by the way. Well, it's about 25. Let's call it 24 windows. So it'd be like 2,400 in labor, and the materials will be about 3,000. So it's just basically like $100 in installation, about $125 a window to buy. Okay, paint exterior. You need it to paint the exterior. It's a pretty big house, so you pay somebody about $1,300 labor to paint it, and then material shouldn't be more than $500. It'd be maybe even cheap, a lot cheaper than that. Landscaping. It wasn't really a train wreck, right? What the landscape look like? So $2K, cutting grass and a little bit of plants. You're good on that. You probably can get it done cheaper, but we'll keep it super cheap. Exterior doors. You need it like a front door, back door, and a side door, right?
Yes, and a basement door.
And a basement, so you need 4 total.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad we know that. So we paid $200 a door to do that. So we'll just call it $1,000, just in case we got paid $250. Now those doors are going to be like 300, 200, 200, 200. So you're going to be 300, 200, 600, 300, 900, and then you got knobs. So you're about 1050 on that. Ballpark, right? We're just trying to get this in. We're going to have a 10% contingency too. You don't need a fence. Do you have a garage?
It got to be torn down. It's really old.
Oh, so your garage had to be. Oh, it's just like a little cheap shed or something.
Yeah, one of them old, like one car metal garages that's really, really old.
All right, so let's just then put like, I don't know, $600 to get rid of it. So, and curb appeal is just like a standard. We don't change that. Exterior woodwork, you're fine. Framing, we're probably going to do a little move around the framing. So we're probably going to be looking at like framing the basement, opening up the first floor, rearranging some bedrooms. So like 3,500 on the framing, and about 1,500 on the materials. Okay. And demo, that house needs a lot of demo, because you're going to be demoing a lot, right?
Yep.
Demo is going to kind of start costing you something. So we're going to have $4,000 in that demo. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but sheetrock, could we save any sheetrock, or or do we have to re-sheetrock the whole thing? I can't remember.
Some of it can be saved, but yeah, depending on how we move things around,
Let's do 250 sheets of sheetrock. If you were redoing every piece of sheetrock in the house, it'd be about 300 for that size. But I'm thinking maybe 250 just in that. Put us at $20 a sheet. 250 math. I usually have my big calculator, but I should be able to figure that out in my head. Hold on, 250. So 200 sheets would be 2,000, 4,000. No, I'm getting it wrong. It's $30 a sheet. Sorry. So yeah. Okay, got it. 4, 6, 7,500. So we're just gonna go labor on 200 sheets is going to be $20 a sheet. So it's 4,000. So 5,000. 250 is going to be $5,000 roughly. 5,000. Your materials are going to be about $15. So 10, 1,500, 3,000, 4,000. Yeah, you'd be able to go close to $10,000 on that sheetrock. That's fine though. Doors and trim, 1,200 each. You ain't got that many doors and trim. Same thing, 1,200 each. Like 1,200 material labor. I mean, we're going to cut. We'll make that better. But believe me, the key for this is not getting perfect. It's not just being way high or way low. These are very close numbers I'm giving you. This one might be a little lower and this one might be a little higher. They should even out. And we'll go over them in more detail, obviously. But this is good enough for your investor because it's getting you in the ballpark. Cabinets, right now, you pay somebody make $600 to put these cabinets in. You'd be no more than $3,000 for the cabinets. I'm assuming you'll have a pretty decent sized kitchen, but we're getting some pretty good prices right now. Vanities, you're going to have 3 bathrooms, 3.5. I think it's going to be like probably at least 3 bathrooms. So
it'll be at least 3.
All right, so we put $2,000 for vanities because we'll have like a $900 vanity and a couple $300 vanities. Okay, so $2,000 is plenty. The labor's nothing. It costs like 10 minutes to put those in. So we got 3 bathrooms. There'll be a decent amount of tile. So labor usually is around $4 a square foot. You're probably going to be around 500 square foot of tile. So that's like $2,000 for labor. That's all your labor. You'd be at $1,500 on material. You won't go. We can get good material very affordable. Paint interior is the little bigger house. We usually pay $2,000, but essentially it's like a 2,000 square foot. Paying like 26, and it'd be about 1,100 material. We're usually at about 700 material, but when it goes up to 2,000 square foot, it goes up to about 1,000. I'm just giving you a couple extra bucks so you have it. Doorknobs are cheap, man. We get them on Amazon for $10 each. You won't have 20 doors. You probably have about 10 or 15. So materials are going to be 150. Actually, that's labor. So we pay $15 a door times 15 is 10 times 15. It's about 225. 225. And then buying them should be 150. These are easy. And you see towel bars. This is real simple. You're only going to need those for 3 bathrooms. We pay $50 each. They generally only cost about $30 each, but I got a couple bucks in for mirrors and stuff because we do end up getting like $50 mirrors. So yeah, they cost a little more. The actual towel bars cost $33 each. Hardwood, first floor, you're probably going to be around 700-800 square foot of hardwood. So from a material, this is labor. We pay about $1.25 a square foot. So it's called like $1,100 for labor, just kind of cover shoe molding and everything. Or $2 a square foot for the hardwood. I have found something I'm getting ready to try, a laminate for 99 cents. I have a feeling it's going to work, but I'll let you know after I use it and see how my sale goes, because it looks really nice for 99 cents. They're stocking at Home Depot, but for $2, I can always get you wood. So $2 at 700, it's going to be 1,400 plus pad and stuff, be about 1,800 with all your taxes and everything. And punch out just 500 standard. Cleaning 500 on this one. It's a little bigger house. I pay 300 to 500. It's probably more than 500 on this. Power wash, you will need a power washer before you clean it. That's standard. Inspection repairs, I just keep it 500. Permits, you are going to need to pull permits on this one. So permits and drawings on this will be about 1,400. But the good news is the permits are easy when you're pulling them from the jump, right? You were trying to fix something where you got busted at the end. A little more complex. They're so not that bad when you pull them from the jump. So they're pretty easy. Plumbing for a house this size, because it's really more about plumbing really comes down to size, but it also comes down to beds, bathrooms. They got about 3.5 bathrooms. You're probably going to be looking, let's just call it like, I don't know, $5,500 for the plumbing and about $1,100 for the fixtures. It would be maybe even cheaper than that because power shopping, we can get some of these fixtures cheap. I'm getting a super nice faucet right now for the kitchen for $75. I'm getting a faucet for, a diverter and faucet and everything for my tubs for like $50. So you can use that on all 3 bathrooms. And then the ones I'm using are like $30. So and then you got tubs, 3 tubs you'll need to get. You don't have to go upgrade it at all. Electric's probably going to be about the same price ballpark. Same thing, you only need about 900 on that. Insulation, you can only really be insulating probably the basement. So it's like 300 labor, about 500 material. HVAC, do you have HVAC in the house, or you have like all new ducts and everything?
No HVAC in there.
None at all. So then HVAC, and I'm not going to do labor and material, but you're going to need a 4-ton unit since it's 2,000 square feet. And a 4-ton unit right now is costing about right around, I think we were like 22, and it costs around 3 in material. And then you got about $1,200 for the ducts. So it's 4,200. And generally we're getting this done for about $8K, a little bigger one. So this is a little more expensive, but it's a big house, right? So this is going to be the duct work and everything for this big house. So it is a little more than doing your normal $6,000 like you did in your townhouse.
That house has separate panels right now in terms of electric, one for the basement and the first floor, and then one for the second floor and the like attic, I guess you want to call it.
We're gonna put 65 just to cover that. That should be fine. They're gonna end up rewiring it. They can rewire it for 6,500 probably.
Okay.
So 6,500 should cover it. It's like 2,000 in material, and they'll 2,500 material. They can do that in a couple guys in a couple days if they're good. Waterproofing, I'm assuming you probably need it, but it's only going to cost you about 3,500 for the basement to do that. Termite, I just put that in. Roof gutters and soffit, assuming you need a roof or no?
Yes, need a roof.
You need a roof. It's going to be a little bigger roof, probably 20, 25 squares. 20 squares, we're usually running at around $250 a square, so it's about $5,000. So I'm going to put like 6,500 on for the roof, and that should be more than enough. I get most of my roofs done for like $3,000 to $4,000, but this is obviously a bigger roof, so we'll kind of bump it up a little bit. Appliances will be the same. You won't do anything different. Walkways and stuff, I don't really know if you got anything. They've put 500 in case there's a couple you need to repair or something. Granite for the kitchen, not going to be more than 2,500. Carpet might be around like 3,400 because it's a little bigger house. And if we finish the basement and everything, you'll have quite a bit of carpet. Inspection repair, that's pretty standard. Drawings for the architect drawing, I already put that in up there with the permits and drawings. And your staging is going to be the same staging. We generally pay that same flat rate for a small house or a big house. Let's put it at 1,500 in case you need a little more staging.
That siding is very old. Would you replace that siding?
No, I'd paint it. The siding's old, but it's in good shape and it's not that bad. You just got to clean it up. Was it like cedar shingles or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you do, it's going to cost a little bit more. So maybe we can put something in for it, and that way, you know, just that it's covered. You're not going to be out of pocket. Just put like, I don't know, if you had to do all new siding, it'd be 4,500. Let's just put it in there, and you can decide. So this puts you at 110K with a 5K contingency. This is like the max you can spend, by the way. I'm sure you can cut cost on this, but let's just say it's 110. That's going to be putting us at like, okay, we don't want to be, we want to make sure our number's good because you're bringing this to your hard money lender. With that being said, let me replace and let me ship this to you so you have it. But this is going to be 110. I feel very comfortable. I've done a lot of houses in that neighborhood. I don't think I've ever spent more than 110. And I've done a lot of big ones too. So like Robert's doing a lot of these, and he's spending about 80 to 100 on them, just if they're, you know, and they're like 2,500 square foot often. So 110 is very generous, keeps you in a really safe spot. You're pretty good at getting the prices down too, so you don't have to worry about it. So I'll just say budget. All right, so you got that. Now, deal analyzer, let's run the numbers and just see where you're at. I mean, we're super comfortable with, we're very comfortable with the 270. I think it's much more than that, but I don't think we need to, you know, we can be conservative on the comps. You're selling it yourself. We got 270 ARV. We got 110 and work max, 65K buy, and you got 2.5%. You know what your taxes are by any chance, roughly?
I don't.
Yeah, they're probably about 4K, so just call it 4,000. Ain't gonna really make a big difference. You can see, like, I'm running your numbers really conservatively, and it's $64,000. But I would not be surprised if you can cut this down from 110. I wouldn't be surprised if this, like, the comps are like 300 plus for this. I just sold Samira's, and you know, it really wasn't a better house than yours. She saved a lot of stuff, and yours is going to be kind of like gutted, all new. And so she saved a lot of existing stuff and did a nice kitchen and everything. But we got 305 for that house, and that was a year ago. So the market has went up since then. So you can see it starts being 80,000 if we get like 290. But I don't see any scenario where we don't get 270 to $300,000. So I just would feel like if you were telling me to list this for you, I'd be like, dude, I can guarantee you 270. And like we're going to start at 270. It's like an auction. I feel like 270 is like the auction number. You know what I mean? Like start suggested opening bid 270. Let's bang it out from there. I mean, that's how confident I am with the 270. But you get why I feel that way, because you've seen the comps I sent you were like, they were upwards of 350 for similar houses. And maybe the house ain't quite as good, and I'm glad you're not trying to sell it for 350. But you can see where, like, when you're that conservative on the numbers, like most of the time I'm going to be around like 90 to 100 to do that myself. And you have the ability to cut those costs down for sure. So if you can get that thing down to 100 and get it up to 280, 290, man, we could easily talk about an $80,000, $90,000 deal. But let's just pretend it only went for the 270, and then it ended up spending the whole 110 on it. You're still at $65,000. It's a lot for a deal. Like, that's all you need, man. How much do you make it your job a year, roughly?
Base or overtime? My base.
Oh, I guess yeah.
My base is about 85,000.
There you go. Let's cover like 2/3 of your income in one deal. And probably, honestly, I would not be surprised if this didn't end up being like close to your yearly income in one flip. I mean, I would not be surprised. I've had this happens all the time with like all the students. And when you hear me this passionate about something, it's rare, by the way. I usually like deals, but I'm like, yeah, it's a good deal. But it's rare that I'm pumped about a deal. Like, dude, don't let anyone in this world stop you from doing this deal. It's so good. This deal's a home run, man.
Yeah, I almost wholesale this off.
That would have been fine too, because you're going to make 30K. So it wouldn't have been like the worst thing you ever did. Because I'm looking at like, look, it's not easy to get deals. I know the work you put into these deals, right? And why beg someone to buy it, you know, when you could just keep it, and like now you're looking at 60 to 90K in profit. 60 on a bad day, 90 on a good day, on a great day, and then somewhere anywhere between could be awesome too, right?
Right.
But can't see really less than 60K on this.
Gotcha.
So anyhow, that being said, that's like doubling your money for obviously more effort, but you know, you want to get more into flipping versus wholesaling, so you don't have to wholesale as much and you can get your volume down.
Correct.
And then go from there, right?
Yep.
So Anyhow, yeah, I'm excited. Use the things I just gave you and tell him that me and you spent like an hour going over the deal in deep detail. If he has any questions, he can call me. And then here's the comps we came up with. And, I think we were very conservatively 270 and, 110 for the number. And he doesn't seem to have a problem if the numbers look really strong, because he lent to Steve and Cinnamon on their first deal ever. He gave them like 100,000 or 105 or something on a house that was like, really shithole. Worst deal ever. Not worst deal ever, worst house ever for sure, but not worst deal. Good deal, but worst house. And he gave him the money. He wasn't afraid of it. And they're doing a good job with it, but he's not, because he's done some rehabs, he isn't afraid. The first person they called, Bob Brindell, he chickened out in 2 seconds on it and passed. But this guy seems pretty open, so he's not going to be afraid of 110K. He just looks at it and sees the numbers are good, and he's now these numbers are strong.
Gotcha, that works.
So I think you'll be good. But I'd call him as soon as possible. Get the relationship started. He just called me the other day and thanked me for sending a referral. Said he really likes everyone I'm sending. So I've been only sending them people who are awesome, and everyone seems to be getting along with them very well. Marlo's done a deal with them. I knew Steve's done a deal with them, and PD didn't do a deal. And I don't know if David's doing a deal with someone else. He's doing our old referral, but they kind of ran out of money when COVID hit. So they're still working with David, because David apparently they like teachers. But they just don't. They kind of aren't bringing new people on right now, because some of their money's a little tied up. Some of the people can't settle out. So, dude, that looks really good, man. Just stay focused on that. I think we'll be good.
Cool, will do.
Cool, man.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Awesome. Great deal.